In a few months, the Nintendo Switch will be 7 years old. Now, 7 years isn't a particularly noteworthy milestone in most respects, but it is a pretty big one for Nintendo consoles. Give or take a few months, Nintendo has never gone more than 7 years without releasing a new home console. In fact, none of the three
Look, I'm not gonna lie, you know why Nintendo's gonna take a very long time? I mean, Switch 2 is coming out, but like a new console, Nintendo, I feel like is low-key a little nervous to do that. Because I feel like ever since that whole Wii U situation, the Switch literally, from what I can remember, everybody in the chat said the Switch saved them. Because the Wii U did so fucking bad that this console that they came out with was kind of like their, hey, if shit goes south here, we're fucked. But the Switch was successful. So I don't know when we're gonna get like a new console that's not the Switch. You said what?
That story basically reminded people of the time a feminist made the news because she was getting her head humped by hackers in GTA Online.
Her head humped? Look, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I know, once again, I'm a sound inconsiderate, but if somebody's doing some weird shit to you in a video game, just leave. Close the game out and reopen it. That's what I would do. Like nobody's holding you there against your will. Somebody in the chat said hackers. I mean, you could still turn off your console or PC if there's a hacker bothering you, you know? You said as long as we could play Switch games in the new console, Nintendo is good. True. Me telling cyberbullying victims to close the game. I mean, it's kind of like that too. Or just block them. Like if somebody was going crazy on me on Twitter right now, calling me like the N-word and saying a bunch of slurs and saying all types of racist wild shit, right? I'm just gonna block you, bro. I'm not even gonna go through all that back and forth shit. I'm just gonna block you, bro. Like I ain't got time for it. I'm too lazy.
Current major home console companies in the last 40 years have gone more than 7 years without a new home console release, outside of that one time when the Xbox...
Unless we're in virtual reality and then like, you know, your dick is like strapped to a virtual reality machine too, then I don't know what the fuck we're doing. Then if something bad happens to you there, then fuck. But we're still so far away from that happening, so...
One was released 8 years after the Xbox 360. The 7 years between the Switch's launch and now has led to a ton...
Smash Brothers gameplay, bro? Like, you could have put anything else in the background. I'm about to leave your video, bro. I'm not gonna lie. And you're fighting a CPU, bro. Your life's on the line, Kiro.
Of speculation in the past few years about Nintendo's inevitable next console, which some people are calling the Switch 2. I really hope they don't call it that. But anyway, the next Nintendo console is probably coming soon. That's the precedent that history has set.
Oh man, I hate Smash
Nintendo
Brothers.
consoles usually last less than 7 years. The gap between the Nintendo 64 and the GameCube was only about 5 years and 3 months. The gap between the GameCube and the Wii was only 5 years and 2 months. And the gap between the Wii U and the Switch was only 4 years and 4 months. So Nintendo life cycles have always leaned on the shorter side. However, as I mentioned before, going by past events, 7 years is almost always the cutoff point for a new game console. But why is that? I mean, theoretically, a console could last 10 years
yes,
or 15
it could.
years.
And that's what I feel like personally. Xbox Series X and the PlayStation is one of those consoles that I feel like should last like at least 10 years, because like I said, I don't know what graphical advances they could do that can warrant for a new console. Oh, the PlayStation 6. Okay, now I gotta spend $500 again. I think I'm good.
Maybe even 20 years, right? So why is it
the DS could last another 50 years? You low-key right.
5 to 7 years. Well,
you right.
The biggest reason I can think of is quite obvious. It's hard to make bigger and more graphically impressive games when you have less processing power. PCs get better and better every year with more advanced CPUs and graphics cards allowing for more eye-catching games. But console games are stuck using the same old...
You said PS5 was out during COVID and no one could get them for like 2 years. I agree. That's why I feel weird as hell when Sony made that statement where they're like, oh, I don't know if it's like 100% confirmed. Somebody told me that they didn't mean to say that, but you know what I'm saying. Where they're like, oh, we're entering the later years of the life cycle. Because it's weird. I'm like, they shouldn't even count 2020 and 2021 because we were all literally in quarantine. It was impossible to get a PlayStation, and then even game developers couldn't even make games and nobody couldn't do anything. Like the world was at a standstill because of COVID. So it's weird to say like, you know, 2020 and 2021 counted for these consoles when shit wasn't really happening during that time frame.
Components for 7 years. Now, game console companies have tried to remedy this issue by giving some consoles mid-generation upgrades. The Sega Genesis has the Sega CD, which allows the Genesis to play CD-based games. The Genesis also has the Sega 32X, which adds a 32-bit processor to the formerly 16-bit system. The Nintendo 64 has the N64 expansion pack that increases the console's RAM from 4 megabytes to 8 megabytes.
And that shit pissed me off because you could only play specific games with that little tiny thing. Majora's Mask, Pokemon Stadium 2, Donkey Kong 64. That was the worst when you got a game and then you put it in your shit and then they were like, can't play it. Can't play it. You need the expansion pack. I was pissed.
And the 64 also has the 64DD, which gives the console a magnetic disk drive. Sony released a new version of the PlayStation 4 called the PS4 Pro, which is a more powerful version of the console that can play games in 4K. Microsoft even decided to release their new Xbox console in different tiers, with the basic Xbox Series S and the higher-end, more powerful model, the Xbox Series X. Releasing upgrades to a console has some benefits and drawbacks, and what those are depend on how the upgrade is done. The PS4 Pro is what I like to call a soft upgrade. Soft mid-generation upgrades aren't required for any games, they simply make the playing experience better. The Sega CD is what I like to call a hard upgrade. Hard mid-generation upgrades have new games that are available to you if you have the upgraded version. The downside of soft upgrades is that while they do make playing games more comfortable and maybe a bit prettier, because they aren't required to play any games, it means developers can't really add new mechanics to take advantage of the more powerful hardware. The downside of hard upgrades is that while they can allow players access to new games that weren't possible or practical on the original version of the console, playing any of these games requires players to go out and buy an expensive upgrade. And historically speaking, hard mid-generation upgrades have basically always had a very small library of games, most likely because only a fraction of the player base is going to be willing to go out and buy an upgrade for the console. So as a developer, why would you waste time on an upgraded console with such a small user base when you can just make games for the original console that a ton of people already have? So as you can see, mid-generation upgrades are not a perfect solution to solving how quickly consoles are outdated. Another reason why console lifespans are as long as they are is because 5 to 7 years is about as short of a time you can give people before they're comfortable.
Yo, I used to be so nasty at this fucking game, bro. Yo, Clash of Ninja was gas.
Shelving out an extra couple $100 for a new console. I know if every 2 years I had to drop $400 on a new PlayStation, I'd be pretty pissed. I wouldn't feel like I'm getting my money's worth. While I don't particularly like dropping a ton of cash, once about 7 years have gone by, I can deal with it. So now that I've laid out a few reasons as to why consoles die after about 7 years, I guess I should ask, when should a game console die? Like take the Switch for example. Nearly 7 years in and Nintendo is still releasing Switch games that are doing insanely well. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which have only been out for a little over a year, and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which hasn't even been out for 8 months, are already in the top 10 best-selling Switch games of all time. Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
I feel like no matter what, Pokemon will always sell well. You said Retro still ain't play Wonder. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm gonna find a kid who has it, and then I'm probably gonna trade him like a dog shit game for it. Like I'm gonna see if I can find a random kid playing Mario Wonder, and then if I see him, I'm gonna be like, "Yo, what you playing there?" "I'm playing Super Mario Wonder," and I'll be like, "Hey, buddy, I got some games for you." I could give you. Fuck, these are good games. Hold on. You think I should give him this, chat? I'd be like, "Yo, here's fucking Pokemon Moon." Nah, Moon is good, bro. Oh, easy. Yo, bro, I'll give you a copy of Smash, bro, and you pass me that Mario shit. Bro, easy, bro. You said give him Splatoon. Hell no, I'll give him Smash Brothers. 1,000,000% I'll give him Smash Brothers. That or fly me to the moon where my butthole, it smells like flowers. Oh, by the way, bam. Well, that's what I'll do.
Sold over 4 million copies in its first 2 weeks. Even nicher titles.
You said Bayonetta community been so quiet. They really have, bro. Can I please focus back in? Thank you, cameraman. Yeah, but Bayonetta community definitely has been quiet. Ever since that whole fiasco where the voice actors came out and then Bayonetta 3's launch. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I feel like Platinum Games should sue her. I don't know, bro. I feel like ever since that whole debacle, Bayonetta just plummeted, bro. Ever since that situation, like, the Bayonetta fan base is non-existent.
Titles like Pikmin 4 have sold multiple millions of units. And not only that, but there are tons of new titles that Nintendo announced that are coming out for the Switch that'll undoubtedly sell.
Yo, I'm not touching Princess Peach Showtime with a 10-foot pole, bro. Mario vs. Donkey Kong, being the price that it is, you're funny. Princess Peach Showtime, you're funny. Luigi's Mansion 2, being a DS game ported to the Switch, and they're trying to sell it for premium pricing, you're funny. I'm not buying that shit either. The only thing that I'm buying out of this whole thing is Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door remake. And I'm praying to God that they at least add some new fundamentals into the game. Add, I don't know, add something. Like, don't just let it be like a carbon copy of the original and then just add nothing to it. It'll suck ass. They have to add something to it.
Very well.
Then you said
the
they
Switch
won't?
is still very much alive, and its player base grows bigger every year. So I wonder, should Nintendo even make a Switch 2?
Yeah, man. You saw how Pokemon ran, bro? You saw how that last Pokemon game ran, bro? That shit needs it. Then some people are going to say, no, it's just Game Freak's fault. Game Freak don't know how to make games. Fire Game Freak. That's funny. Imagine firing Game Freak. Bro, get some new people to help Game Freak at this point. Fire somebody in Game Freak. I don't fucking know, bro. They're not good at making 3D games. They suck ass.
Does the Switch have to die? Personally, I don't think it does. I unironically think Nintendo should just rock out with the Switch until its wheels fall off and people stop buying games, because they have a really good thing going here. Nintendo is in a really interesting place because for years they've been known for having underpowered systems. This sounds like a bad thing, but it's actually really good. Since developers who make games for the Switch don't have a powerful platform to work with, they don't have to participate in the rat race where everyone is trying to make the biggest, boldest, most graphically impressive games out there, which gives them way more time and resources to just focus on making fun games. And since Nintendo doesn't have to worry about making the most technically astonishing games out there, they don't really have a need to make a new console. Because like I said, consoles aging and not being able to keep up with the cutting edge games that game devs are putting out is probably the biggest reason why game console companies make new consoles. I mentioned earlier that 7 years.
And you know why I mostly want Nintendo to get like a console upgrade, especially graphically? Xenoblade, bro. Xenoblade, yes, don't get me wrong. Xenoblade looks aight. It looks good on how we're playing it personally right now. But imagine if like Nintendo actually had like a processor, a good GPU in their next console, and fucking Xenoblade would look insane, bro. Like, I want to see the grass moving. I want to see the shit looking like, okay, not like No Man's Sky 100% in terms of like how the graphics look and how beautiful and vibrant everything is. But you know what I'm saying? I just want to see their games upgrade with the console. I want to see, I don't know, Shulk, Rex. I want to see motherfuckers high defy. I want to see high defy.
Is around the time people are willing to wait before they feel like they got their money's worth out of a console. Well, if you just don't release a new console, consumers won't have to worry about dropping extra cash for a new system and new games. Just look at cell phones. I ran a poll on my YouTube channel, and most people said they get a new phone after every 5 or
Yeah, the 1% of every year, those are the iPhone heads. Those are the motherfuckers that got money for days for like no reason, and then they're just like, I got me the 16 Pro. Bought the 14 Pro like literally a second ago. Makes no sense how the fuck I jumped from 14 to 16, but you know what I'm saying. iPhones or cell phones in general, the phone that I still have is the 12 Pro Max. I'm waiting for the 16 to maybe even the 17 for me to consider doing an upgrade. So probably either this year or next year, I'm gonna consider probably getting another iPhone.
Or more years. Cell phones, like gaming consoles, are expensive, but unlike consoles, new cell phones from Samsung, Apple, and Google come out every single year, and usually there are only a few noteworthy improvements in each iteration, so most people don't feel the need to get a new one. Several people in the comments of my poll even said that they'd only get a new phone if their old one broke or became unusable.
Yeah, that's true. Right now, my phone's battery is damn near getting fried. The back is cracked. The front is fine. The way it operates is still fine. Like, I don't have any glitches or anything. But what sucks about my phone is that I wish I can swap out the battery, but I hear Apple charges so much money to swap your battery out. So I don't know if somebody online can like search it up. How much does it cost for a battery swap on a 12 Pro Max? I hear that shit is like upwards $150 to $200, and I'm like, that's fucking ridiculous to swap the battery. I just want to get a brand new battery so my phone can just run a bit better, you know? Weird. And then, you know what's the worst part about my phone is that the back is cracked. So for you to remove and you know, do the battery shit, how the hell, right? Let me show chat again. Y'all gonna be like, oh my goodness, look at the back of my phone, bro. Hold on. Fucking, hold on. Yo, my shit got fried, bro. Like, the back of my phone one day got fucking... So, look, here's my thing. If they change the back of my phone, right, they gonna have to take the back off. All the particles is gonna fall off, so they're gonna upsell me. They're gonna be like, hey, man, we changed your battery, and we also changed the back of your phone. So that's gonna be probably about $500. I'm gonna be like, I could have just gotten a new phone. 500? You said you take a shower with your phone? Sometimes. It depends. Sometimes. They'll delete your data, never go to a store. Oh, they delete your data, so I'm gonna make sure that I back everything up. Thank you for letting me know.
Usable for some reason. So why can't consoles be the same way? Just stick with the Switch, PS5, and Xbox
Now that
Series X
situation with
just
Bayonetta's voice
unplayable.
actress actually boosted sales for the game.
Really?
I think the reason why the Bayonetta community have been quiet is because didn't like the game.
They didn't like the game.
A lot of people didn't like the game's story.
Oh.
The only time people talk about the series now is when people are arguing if Bayonetta is straight or not.
Damn, that's just sad. That's sad to hear because, yo, I remember there was a time frame where people on Twitter didn't shut the fuck up about Bayonetta, and it was annoying. You say she's straight? Why are people be fiending to, like, you know, video game character sexuality? They be
Answer
fiending.
the question, when should a game console die? Well, a game console should die if and when it needs to. We've seen consoles like the NES, Wii, and PlayStation 2 have games released for their platforms years after their primes, so...
But then you have to remember though, the reason why those games got games out of their shit years after their prime is because they were successful consoles. PS2 is one of the best-selling consoles ever. And the Switch is like right behind it. The Wii is also one of the best-selling consoles in terms of Nintendo that ever came out. The NES is a classic. So even if many, many years pass by and they still make games for it, it's because the consoles were successful.
For their platforms years after their primes, so it shows that people are still willing to buy games for old consoles if there's good stuff still coming out. Another benefit to releasing games late in a console's
Atlas was at their
lifespan
peak
is that
PS2?
at that point, developers will have had time to get
Ooh,
used
Kingdom
to the
Hearts 2.
console's architecture, allowing for better optimization and more impressive games. Compare Assassin's Creed, which was released pretty early in the PS3's lifespan, to something like The Last of Us, which was a late PS3 game. The leap in graphical fidelity is pretty noticeable. Obviously, I don't think this will happen, but I would really love it if Nintendo just ran the Switch into the ground for the next 5 years, 10 years,
You know what? If they did do that, I wouldn't even be mad either. Because here's my thing. As long as you keep on making... Oh, no. I don't want to see Splatoon 4 on the Switch, bro. Nope. Yo, imagine 3 Splatoon games on the Switch console. Splatoon 2, 3, and 4 on the Switch? Nah, dude, I think I'm good off that, bro. You might as well just keep on adding on to 3, because I better not see no Splatoon 4 coming on the Switch. I better not see a Splatoon. And remember when people didn't believe that there was going to be a Splatoon 3 on the Switch? There better not be a Splatoon 4 on the Switch. Nope.
15 years or
Nope.
however long it takes for people to stop caring about the thing. And heck, let Sony and Microsoft get in on the fun too. I want chaos. I want to see a console generation that lasts.
He said Microsoft. I mean, Sony could stay there realistically, because I feel like their console, their PS5 is good. They just obviously, in my opinion, I feel like they needed more exclusives and games for the PS5. But I don't know, bro. The COVID shit happened, and then a lot of things just happened.
20 years. PCs are always going to be ahead in terms
Yes,
of
of course.
power.
That's why I always tell chat, never put PC in the master, not in the master race. Don't put PC in the console wars, because PC always automatically wins. I don't consider PC as part of the console wars.
And performance. So consoles should just say screw it and embrace being the
Hey,
Yo,
fun,
Shaq.
I hope
creative,
everyone is doing
low-budget
good today and
alternative.
keeps
Game
doing good.
consoles should never die.
Thank you, Schnack.
Thanks for watching, y'all, and have a great rest of your day.
I love this Mario Kart game too. Very good, very good. Atlas will develop Persona 4 Remake instead of Persona 6. Isn't that the title? They probably will.